Launching a token is easy. Everybody knows that. But launching one that actually creates value for your users and encourages interaction and growth, now that's where most founders get it wrong. In this first session, we're going to cover something foundational and often overlooked. And that is identifying the different token types and defining its utility based on actual product use cases. This is where token design starts, and where a lot of projects often get off track before they even launch. Let's begin by defining the major token types you'll encounter in Web3. First, we have utility tokens. These tokens are heavily integrated with the overall product flow and play a major role in user interaction and engagement, such as access to certain services or features in your app, or acting as a gas or internal currency to your product. Filecoin is a great example. Users have to pay with their native FIL tokens to store files on their network. Secondly, we have governance tokens. These usually give holders the power to influence decisions, from protocol upgrades to treasury spending. Think of Uniswap as an example. Their community token holders vote on changes that affect the entire protocol. Next, we have security tokens. These are tokens that represent regulated financial assets, like equity or revenue share or others. Blockchain Capital, for example, launched the BCAP token back in 2017, being one of the first tokenized VC funds, giving investors exposure to startup returns in a legal manner. And obviously next up, we have NFTs. These are unique digital assets used to represent art, identity access, and more. Yuga Labs' Bored Ape Yacht Club is an iconic example. And yes, I know what you're about to say. It is not just a profile picture. It also grants its holders things such as exclusive membership perks and benefits to their ecosystem. Last but not least, we have stablecoins, which are pegged to assets like US dollars to maintain a stable price, making them ideal for payments and storing value. The quickest example here is USDC, which is issued by Circle. It is fiat-backed and heavily regulated. Now, a quick note on this topic. Your project may use more than one token type, and that is okay. What matters is that each token serves a clear intentional role in your product. Now, let's talk about why token utility is so critical. Most Web3 projects, whether they're dApps or infrastructure, end up launching a utility token. But not all utility tokens are created equal. Let's look at two common paths: hype-driven tokens versus product-aligned tokens. First, hype-driven tokens are launched mainly to generate buzz or raise money, as the name suggests, and often even before the product even exists. Some common characteristics can include the price being driven by speculation and influencer hype, or the utility being weak or added after the fact, or having a rush listing on exchanges and creating FOMO. As for the community of these tokens, they're mostly just investors chasing a pump and dump. Let's take UFO Gaming as a real example. They launched during the 2021 bull market with a strong metaverse narrative, but they had no playable game for over a year. The token had no real utility, and once the hype faded, the community did too. That resulted in UFO now being down more than 95% of its all-time high. And this is what happens when tokens are built on narrative, not product. Now, let's talk about product-aligned tokens. These tokens are deeply integrated with the product itself. They enable real actions or align real incentives. Here are some common characteristics. They're usually used for staking, governance, paying for services or access. Their demand usually grows as actual users engage with the platform. And they're usually launched after a working product exists. Here's an example. Uniswap's native token, UniToken, is used for governance. The holders benefits from trading volume growth through fee proposals. Or take Arweave's token, for example. It is the main currency used to store permanent data on-chain. Now, if you'll see, these tokens aren't just about the price. They power ecosystems. When you launch a token without a real product alignment, things tend to go wrong, and really fast. Here's how. First, you have poor retention. If users don't need to use their tokens to use your product, they'll leave after the hype. Second is governance failure. Speculators don't vote, and if they do, they're not voting with the product in mind. You get low participation or decisions skewed by whales. Third are the regulatory risks. If your token exists mainly to raise money or drive speculation, the SEC may see this as a security, and then that means tons of investigation, fines, or exchange delistings even. The takeaway? If your token doesn't power real product value, it becomes a liability, not an asset. Now, let's shift from theory to practice. Here's a simple framework for mapping token utility to your product. First, you want to start off by defining your product loop. Ask questions such as, what do users do, right? Where's the value being created? Second, you want to spot the incentive points. Where could a token make things work better? For example, maybe you can have staking tokens to moderate the platform behavior, or you can have governance tokens to guide upgrades and future improvements, or you can even have reward tokens to bootstrap supply or demand. Next up, you want to choose your utility type. Do you want to have it as an access token, which unlocks features or memberships, or do you want to have a payment token, which is used as a currency within the app? Or you can have an incentivization token, which creates referrals, mining, and engagement. And obviously, once again, you can also have a governance token, which allows for voting and delegations, and also identity tokens, which are soulbound tokens or credentials. The most important aspect of all of this is to validate with flow diagrams or testnets. Map out how the token moves through your ecosystem. Better yet, simulate the flow using Discord bots or testnet versions. Here are some example scenarios to get you thinking. A DAO platform might combine governance tokens with some staking tokens, while a DePIN project could use utility and proof of work tokens, whereas, for example, a creator platform may blend NFTs for access and also have social tokens on the side. Before we wrap up, here are some red flags to watch out for. First, do not over-engineer your token utility too early. Second, ignoring real user behavior can often lead to token downfall. Third, launching before product market fit is usually a no-go. Last but not least, building hype loops instead of feedback loops is definitely not the way to go. And I think we'll end on a quick tip. Always test your utility in a closed environment before launching. Think Discord role gating, or mock staking, or simple reward systems. Now, let's bring it all together. You're not just launching a token. You're designing a system that closely interacts with your product. Start with your product use case, not with market narratives. Utility should support real behavior, create alignment, and add long-term value. In this next session, we'll walk through how to turn this into a sophisticated yet convincing white paper. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.